If you haven't noticed, life is getting expensive. I literally can't even go to the grocery store anymore without dropping like 80 bucks. And saving money right now is harder than it's ever been, I think, like in my lifetime. So these are some actual tips that will work in 2024 to save money fast. First off, if you set a goal to save $10,000 by the end of the year, you're going to fail. And that's because, much like every New Year's resolution, if you set a goal to do something by the end of the year, you're probably gonna lose motivation about halfway through. You're gonna forget about it. You're gonna get discouraged. You're gonna kick the can down the road. So instead of that, it's important to break down how much you wanna save into small, actionable steps. So if you wanna save $10,000 within a year, let's break it down. That's $2,500 every quarter, or $833 per month, or $284 every 2 weeks, or $192 every 1 week, or $27.40 per day. Now that leads to the question, how do you actually save $27.40 a day? And that's exactly what I'm gonna break down for you in this video. So I'm gonna talk about some strategies to save more, earn more, invest, some hacks I use and you can use to get an extra like $300 to $500 without doing anything. Let's start with savings. Food is one of the biggest expenses for most Americans right now. It's gone up dramatically. Americans spent $779 per month on food. That's over $9,000 a year. And even though that is one of our biggest expenses, a lot of Americans waste food. We generally waste between 30 and 40% of our food. Some of that is like manufacturing and restaurants and stuff. But a lot of that is you make something, it gets shoved in the back of the fridge, you forget about it, starts growing mold, and then it starts talking to you and you get rid of it. And part of this is this idea of the ideal self. Like you go to the grocery store, you buy a bunch of broccoli because you're trying to be healthy. Then the next day when you get home, you get ready to cook, you remember that you absolutely hate broccoli, so you order a pizza instead. You wait for the broccoli to go bad. You go like, oh no, I forgot to eat the broccoli. Dang it, my bad. And then you feel really bad about it. So the next time you go to the grocery store, you get Brussels sprouts and you start the cycle all over again. It's because we have this idea that like, yeah, I'm gonna eat healthy, and you buy all this stuff that you're not actually gonna eat and it all goes bad. Or you go to the store hungry, you buy too much stuff, you don't have a meal plan, you're not meal prepping and making batch meals that you can take with you to work so that you don't have to buy something out every day. That can add up to an insane amount. Being very conscious with how you buy, prepare, and eat your food can literally change your health and also your finances in a big way. I did a video with like 20 tips on how to save money on groceries, so I'm not gonna talk too much about that. You can check that out later, but it's a big one. Everyday expenses that add nothing to your life. If you take a minute and you look through your past bank statement or credit card statement and you go line by line and you ask yourself, did this add anything to my life? There will be so many things on those statements that you might realize didn't add anything to your life. Or if you haven't done this before, you might get the easy pickings of like, oh, I forgot I had a subscription to that other streaming network that I just signed up for so I could watch a football game, and I got scammed and now I still forgot to cancel it. It's all this stuff. Or I have subscriptions of vitamins or t-shirts, or I have this subscription box that shows up every month and then I'm like, oh, I should probably cancel that, and then I totally forget to cancel it, and then the next month happens and you do the same thing over and over and over again, and then next thing you know, it's 500 bucks at the end of the year. It's never happened to me. But there's also those little things that literally do not impact your life at all. Like I switched from a name-brand expensive Wi-Fi to a cheaper Wi-Fi. I think it was Xfinity to Fidium. I don't care about either one of these, and I got faster Wi-Fi for literally under half the price of what I was paying before. It changed my life zero. I made a decision one time, saved me a ton of money over the course of like the next multiple years. If you look at your phone bill, I saw that the nationwide average is $166 per month. I know multiple people spending like 80, 90, over $100 a month on their phone bill, when if you switch to a cheaper one, it will not change your life in the slightest, yet you can save literally $1,000+ a year by doing that. Recently, I switched over to Helium Mobile. It's cheaper than even the cheaper one that I had before. It's $20 a month for unlimited everything, which is way better than what most people I know are paying. I'm actually a really big fan of them. I recommended them to some friends and family, and I actually got them to sponsor this video because I'm a big fan of not wasting money on crap that adds nothing to your life. They use T-Mobile's 5G towers, so I have noticed zero difference in like my coverage or anything like that. But unlike the big brands who have stores everywhere and like tons of people working for them, they don't have all that. They just send you a SIMs card and you can stick it in your phone, or you don't even need that and you can use the eSIMs and just like do it right on your app. Super easy to do. And again, it's just 20 bucks a month. So if you want to do something that will actually improve your finances today, you can go to hellohelium.com. Use the code Gabe. You can get a 30-day free trial, so it's like no risk. Just check it out. You won't regret it. Some quick fixes. I know this is something common, but I'm really passionate about it. If you're not making coffee at home, you're doing yourself a disservice. I know people say that they don't have time to make coffee at home, but it takes way longer to drive somewhere, wait in line, get the coffee, drive back to wherever you were going. Even if it's on the way, it takes time to get off. Making coffee at home is so much cheaper. You can have better quality coffee. It doesn't take that much time. You can get something with a timer on it. It's just so worth it. Impulse buying. If you are shopping online right now, this might be the time to stop. With Amazon and everything else, it is so easy to impulse buy. You get one click, you just buy stuff without really thinking about it. I know I talk about this a lot, but it's a very common thing I see with so many people now. You're just impulse buying stuff online. It adds up to thousands of dollars a year. If you can't control yourself, cancel Amazon, uninstall it off your phone, block those apps, cancel your credit card, whatever it takes to stop buying things online. Even if it's inconvenient, it can save you a lot of money. Worry about your health. I used to drink at least one Mountain Dew or Rockstar every single day. Those are, $1 to $4 a day in energy drinks, junk food, snacks. If you can cut that out and just switch to water, black coffee, cheaper things to drink that are healthy and won't make you feel crappy, won't destroy your teeth, you're gonna save a lot of money and just feel better all the time. We've tried to stop buying anything in a box for the most part, besides like pasta and stuff, but we don't do packaged and processed food. I feel so much better by doing this, and it actually is cheaper to have rice, beans, pasta, some meat, some vegetables, some fruit. It's a lot cheaper, especially if you don't go out to dinner much. All right, the next tip is the bi-weekly strategy. If you get paid bi-weekly by your employer, there's gonna be 2 months per year where you get 3 paychecks instead of 2 paychecks. And generally most people actually budget for 2 paychecks per month. So when they have that extra money, they end up spending it on something. The same thing like when you get a bonus, when you sell something around your house, when you have a part-time job and you start earning extra streams of income. A lot of times we'll just take this and lump it in instead of separating it and pretending that it does not exist. This is the hack that I use a ton. I'll do everything I can to live off a certain amount off of one stream of income. Anything extra, even if it's overtime from that, I will pretend it doesn't exist and I'll put it in a high interest savings account. And why I use a high interest savings account is because when your money starts earning money, if it's like 4 or 5% right now, you really don't want to pull the money out because you're losing interest. You start to see that every month you're making a few dollars, you're making $10, you're making $20. And if you pull that money out, you're gonna stop making that interest. So it's kind of a hack I use on myself of keeping everything that I don't want to spend in a high interest savings account as an emergency fund or to save up for something that's going to be important, and just pretending that it doesn't exist. And that's what I do with every stream of income that I have that's not what I absolutely need to survive. And then to kickstart this, you can open up an account with something like SoFi, which is what I use, and you can get up to $300 deposited into your account when you open and fund an account. That's personally what I use. There is a link down below. It's an affiliate link. You can check them out. But if you don't want to use them, just like look up what other bank accounts offer money for opening up and setting up direct deposit in that account. I generally do this 2 to 3 times a year. I will set up different bank accounts. I'll get $300 from this one, $500 from this one, $200 from this one, and you can actually earn like $1,000 a year just opening up bank accounts, setting up direct deposit. 2 to 15 minutes to do all this. And if you calculate that out, that's like $1,000 or $2,000 an hour. Absolutely crazy. I would definitely do that if you don't have one of these already. So those were some ways to save. Now let's talk about earning more. Obviously there's the low-hanging fruit, like working overtime, trying to do extra training so that you can get a promotion in your job, maybe get a raise. But then there's the additional hour tasks, and there's 2 main strategies that a lot of people use for making money with a side hustle. The second one is what I personally prefer and what I have done, but the most common way is just straight up time for money strategy. This would be driving for Uber, DoorDash, working a side job at night, maybe doing something like office cleaning, what I used to do actually, and taking all of that money, pretending it doesn't exist, throw it right in a high interest savings account, and that's how you kickstart it. So you can't save any more money, then you have to earn more money. It has to go from somewhere if you ever want to get this initial amount of money that will allow you a lot of freedom in your life to pay off debt, to have an emergency fund, to save up for a down payment. All of this comes, if you can't save it, you have to earn it somehow. So that's the initial strategy, is just trading time for money. And then there's the second strategy, which I personally prefer, although it takes a lot longer, and that is to build something that can make you more money over the long term. So like if you start something at the beginning of the year, some type of business, selling something online, learning a skill that's gonna be more high value, but it might take a couple months to learn. For me, it was starting a YouTube channel where quite a while I didn't make any money. And then as I built the skills and the groundwork, I started to make more money, but it's kind of a this kind of situation. Instead of when you just go and trade time for money, you're guaranteed to get some money, but you're gonna be capped on how much you can make for the most part. So that is the second strategy to up your income, is to start something on the side. I prefer YouTube, that's why I made a course about it, but there's so many ways to start making money online in your free time, but it's got to come from somewhere. All right, so here is exactly how you could save $27.40 a day. Income from your side hustle, $7 a day. Saved extra paycheck, $4 a day. Saving on your phone from switching to Helium Mobile, $2.40 a day. Although I think it would be a lot higher. I don't know, could be a lot higher. Saving on food by meal planning, or switching to a different grocery store, never shopping hungry and only using a list, going out to dinner a lot less, $5 a day. Cutting some unused or even used subscriptions, $2 a day. The classic, making coffee at home, $3 a day. Uninstalling Amazon from your phone, $2 a day. Cutting out junk food and soda, $2 a day. This is an idea of what this could look like. If you have any other tips that I missed, throw them down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next week.